Unsurprisingly, feminists for the Mary Sue have written that they actually pretend to like bad movies with bad characters because they're concerned about how it would look if the movie was bad and it had a female lead, I guess. I can't really understand it, but I can tell you this. I have no problem saying a movie is good if it's good and if it's bad if it's bad. Ghostbusters 2016 is a trash fire. Star Wars The Last Jedi is also a dumpster fire. Wonder Woman was great. Wonder Woman 1984 looks really great. I'm excited for those films. Black Widow, I'm particularly excited about. But I will say the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer is like one of the best trailers I've ever seen in my life. Hands down, I love that orchestral remix of Blue Monday to the beat. It was incredible. I don't care if it's a female antagonist, a female director, or otherwise. If the movie looks good, I'll say it's good. Yet we learned something different here. The Mary Sue writes, figuring out how to talk about female characters you don't like when you're a feminist. It's simple. Just say you don't like it. It doesn't change the fact you're a feminist. You can be a feminist and not like a female character. It's fine. Politically, I'm a bit of a lefty. I like Wonder Woman. I like seeing, I like the idea. Here's what I've said before, and people on the right like this less. I said, come on, guys, right? You get Iron Man, you get Captain America, and you get Thor. You get the big franchise of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's all white men. I have no problem with them being white men. I have no problem with them making more movies about it. My position is just don't be surprised when a movie comes out with an Asian lead or, with a black lead or Hispanic lead. I don't think in reality anyone really cares. I think it's for one, it's a false narrative that conservatives are outraged when, it's not a white male lead. But the reason I say that some people like it less is because coming out and saying something like it's time we get a person of color instead of more white men is typically seen more in line with, social justice politics. But I'm going to warn you now, I'm actually totally in favor of diversity and these policies. Absolutely. I would love to see more movies with female leads. I'd love to see more movies with people of color in leading roles. But there's got to be good movies. That's really all it is. My praise, for instance, like the Spider-Man film Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, Miles Morales, he's Afro-Latino. That's fine. I don't care. I like the idea that you're getting a movie with, urban culture perspectives and people of color. But all that really matters at the end is, did they make a good movie? Because I'll tell you this. I don't care if the lead is one color or another. I do like it. I'm like, oh, it's really cool that, we're expanding the diversity of films. The problem is when you make a bad movie and then pretend like it's good for whatever reason because you just must pretend, otherwise you'll be offended or whatever, then everybody hates what you've done. Wouldn't it be great if we had more movies that, had female leads? I personally think it would be great, so long as they're good movies. But guess what? If they're bad, I'm going to say it. Let's read. Even though I rambled a bit too much. Last night, I was talking to a friend of mine about Star Wars discourse, when she suddenly stopped in the street and whispered to me, "Don't tell anyone, but I just don't really like Rey. I think she is boring." I hugged her and whispered back, "I think the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer looks really bad. I also don't like Rey. So what? You're allowed to not like a character. It doesn't change anything. Your politics are still your politics." One of the deeply frustrating aspects of working in this industry is seeing how quickly and often the leading conversation about a woman-led directed movie, especially if it is an action comic book film, is what men think about it. And as a feminist pop culture critic, I do not care about elevating that discourse anymore. I want to have a conversation with other women who have complicated feelings about stories and characters that are for us. You know what's funny? We're already doing that. I'm already doing that. It's like what differentiates Captain Marvel from Wonder Woman? Excuse me. What makes them different? They're both superhero films. They're both starring women, and I think they both might be directed by women, or maybe just Wonder Woman. But what's the difference? Why is it that Captain Marvel must be defended outright no matter what? And no matter how many times I praise Wonder Woman, they never say anything. They never say, "Here goes Tim Pool again making a movie about how much he loves a female lead." It's always like, "I can't believe Tim Pool doesn't like Captain Marvel." What a loser misogynist. I'm a misogynist when I don't like Captain Marvel, but I'm not a feminist when I do like Wonder Woman. So explain to me what the difference is. Is that difficult? She says, "I do like Rey, and I think that a lot of the allure of her is getting to have a badass female Jedi in media. That is important. Yes, there's also Ahsoka, and there were also other female Jedis in the prequels, though they didn't have really strong leading roles. But yeah, do you guys know Ahsoka? That's the name, right? I'm not a big fan of the Clone Wars. I didn't watch a lot of it. But they sell toys of a female Jedi, I guess. She became a knight in the end, right? Anyway. Rey is also a Star Wars protagonist, which, right, that's substantially, I guess Ahsoka is too, but this is the film, which means there is an element of boring, typical protagonist aspects about her. When talking about that aspect, we aren't doing it to say that she shouldn't be powerful or that she's a Mary Sue, in the pejorative sense. What my friend was saying is that Rey feels like a canvas for young women to put themselves into and not a fully realized character, and that is a valid criticism. I don't understand why it's so hard to just say the movie was bad. I guess they're so desperate to claim a cultural win for whatever reason, they can't just say, I didn't like the movie. And it's also weird that they always pretend like all of the movies in the past with women leads and women directors don't exist, but they do. The fact that she feels worried about saying it because it might make her look unfeminist is a disappointing reality. Well, you know whose fault it is? Not you personally, Mary Sue, but some of you, yes. Because when I made several videos about what was wrong with Captain Marvel and how it was pandering and it was just like super thick in the politics and unenjoyable, these people started insulting me. They started making posts about me and deriding me. So if you want to complain about it, you're the ones who are insulting people over this. Because like I said, how many videos did I make about Wonder Woman? I made several. And not once did you come out and say, here comes Tim Pool again praising feminism. No, that wasn't the case. Or like I said in the beginning, when I said, and I said this a while ago, a long time ago, back during Captain Marvel, I would appreciate, you can't expect to see nothing but white male leads in all of these films. Asian people, they exist, and you're going to start seeing these things, and I actually like that idea. I like the diversity, I do. Heavens. But I'm not going to insult someone for being a white male. I'm not going to get angry that they made too many white male movies. I'm not going to be negative about it. I'm going to be like, oh, those movies were really great. I really love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh, what's that? You're making Black Panther? Cool. I'm excited for that. Sounds fun. Glad to see some diversity. Let's see how it goes. That's about it. That's it. Doctor Strange is actually my favorite movie. So they make some movies with different, with female leads. Like Black Widow, finally. I'm super excited for that. I like the idea that we're going to have different perspectives and different characters and all that stuff. But why do you got to be so mean about it? You know what I mean? Like, I think the big problem is if you're a comic book fan and you came out and had a problem with the movie, they're going to attack you for it. Even if you're a feminist, you're not allowed to have a problem with it. That's the problem. The problem is coming from you, not from the people who are talking about how they feel. And I'd be willing to bet $1 million. Most conservatives literally don't care when you announce you're going to do, Shang-Chi or some kind like an Asian lead. Don't care. We all watch Jackie Chan and Jet Li. We love those movies. Okay, it doesn't have to be stereotypical kung fu. All right, it kind of is. But most people don't care as long as you're not insulting them for it. And that's the thing. I can come out and say something like, I would prefer if the next Marvel film was a female person of color. And people are going to be like, who cares? It doesn't matter if she is or she isn't. No. I think that would be nice. I'm also not going to get mad if they don't do it. I'm just going to be like, here's my suggestion. And if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to be like, well, it's not my company, not my movie, but here's what I personally believe. And I think you'll find, because this is what I find typically, because I don't insult people when they get, when like a movie comes out or something, because I'm just like, I can respect you not liking the film, then I typically don't have any problems. It's like this. I mentioned this, I was at the airport, and there was a Bernie supporter and a Trump supporter, and we were talking, and we all got along just fine because nobody was mean to each other. The Trump voter was like, I don't know, the economy's good, and the Bernie voter was like, yeah, but I just don't like him. And he's like, yeah, I get it. I understand why you would feel that way. And that was it. Smiles, laughs, candy cane Skittles. The problem is, it's not the anti-SJW types that, well, some of them, they're not perfect. They're not the ones that are attacking people for liking or not liking a movie. With Gamergate, with Comicsgate, whatever these things happen, it's always the feminists criticizing, targeting, and trying to change the perspective or opinions of somebody because they're upset about a certain change. And then even when they recognize the content is bad, they refuse to acknowledge it. So I'll tell you this. Here's what I respect from the Mary Sue. They're admitting it and saying it needs a change. You're doing the right thing. I agree. Tremendous respect. I look forward to reading more articles from you because you're saying this. I absolutely would love to see a feminist film. I mean it. So long as you're not bashing me over the skull and insulting me the whole time, right? The problem with Captain Marvel is it's just not that great a film, but the marketing was over the top. Because of that, I've said I really have no interest in going and seeing a film that's marketed as feminist because I have a feeling about what you're going to do. You're going to make dumb male characters, you're going to insult me, but I'll tell you what, Wonder Woman is absolutely a feminist film with a female director and a female lead, And I look forward to seeing more of these, especially 1984. So if you're willing to join me in legitimate criticism of bad characters when they happen to be women, we're going to get better feminist films. And that's real feminism, right? I mean, in like the true sense of the word. Instead, well, let me read a little bit more and then we'll wrap this up. She says, my lack of interest in Wonder Woman is well noted, and for a while, I felt really bad about it. I felt like I was yucking other people's yum. And I felt like I was missing something by not having the emotional reaction other women had. What I realized is that Wonder Woman, while a character I respect, was never an icon for me in that way. Nor do images of beautiful white women in power poses do it for me in that way. I'm not going to accuse you of being an anti-feminist or a bigot because you don't like a feminist film that I happen to like. I absolutely respect that you don't like Wonder Woman. And guess what? There are many other people who are like anti-SJW who also didn't like it, and I respect their opinions because we all have them. I really liked Wonder Woman. I thought it was a great contrast between realism and idealism, between, Chris Pine's character and Gal Gadot. And I'm super excited for 1984. Like I said, the trailer is amazing. But I respect your opinion. I don't think you're a bigot because you didn't like the movie. That's what the conversation we need to be having. That someone could not like a film and just be a regular person who doesn't like the film. Instead, I'll leave you with this. What most of you who watch my content already know. If you criticize Ghostbusters, you're a misogynist. If you don't like a certain actress, you're a misogynist. And then when you do like a certain actress, mum's the word. They say nothing. They say literally nothing. So that's got to change. We're allowed to criticize people without being bigots. It doesn't matter what your race, gender, identity, or anything is, nationality, religion. If you're a bad person, if you're a bad story, if it's a bad character, we're allowed to say that. I'll leave it there. Thanks for hanging out. Stick around. I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. on this channel. Podcast every day at 6:30 p.m. I will see you all then.